For me, the blues is the foundation of everything I do on the guitar. I absolutely love it. And the blues is also the basis of every style of music I enjoy listening to and playing. Jazz, funk and soul wouldn't exist without it. We all know music is a language, and just like with any language, we need to learn its vocabulary and grammar. Licks are like fixed phrases similar to idioms that we can quote in our playing, so we need the right licks. In this video I give you 5 blues licks over a medium shuffle blues in A. Of course you can change them and adapt them to your own style, feel free to experiment. These licks are inspired by players like Stevie Vaughan, Albert King and B.B. King. Steve Lucchese once said in an interview, playing the licks of one player is theft and playing the licks of different players is art. My name is Marcus Buck. You find the PDF and the backing track of this video on my Patreon page. Let's get started with lick number 1. This is how it works. The lick starts on the A minor pentatonic on the 5th fret, and you start with your ring finger like this. You bend it like this, and then you play the next note on the B string, and these notes should be the same. Then you play the high E string on the 5th fret, and this is based on an idea of T-Bone Walker. Then you bend the B string on the 8th fret, like this, and play the E string again. These notes should be the same. Then you play the C on the E string in the 8th fret. I use my ring finger, and then you play back the A blues scale, back to the root note over here. You can also use your pinky like this. And there are a lot of variations of this lick, just like that. The beginning is the same, and then you continue with your ring finger on the high E string on the 7th fret, 6th fret, 5th fret. You can take a shortcut like this. There are numberless variations of this lick. I heard Josh Smith playing this lick the other day here in Hamburg in the Nika Club, and it reminded me a little bit of Stevie Vaughan, so I thought maybe he's influenced, of course he is, by Stevie Vaughan. And Stevie Vaughan was influenced by T-Bone Walker. That's the way it works. Lick number 2. This is something I really love. It has to do with micro bands. You start on the B string, the 5th fret. You continue with your ring finger. You can also use your pinky, of course, but I prefer the ring finger. On the 8th fret on the high E string. And you make a small bend. Very small. And you continue with the root note on the high E string, 5th fret. This is very nice and very, very, very bluesy. And you continue with the same idea, but then you do the bend on the B string on the 8th fret. Use your imagination and feel free to create variations like this, or like this, or like this. Lick number 3. Lick number 3 is an idea you can hear very often by John Lee Hooker, for example, on Dimples. It's based on a slide, so you slide with your ring finger on the G string, 7th fret to the 9th fret, and then you play with your middle finger on the B string on the 8th fret, and you slide back. You always do the slide with your ring finger. Robben Ford also plays this very often, and he does a kind of rake with his pick, just like this. Can you see that? So he plays an upstroke on the B string and the G string with a pick. There's a song called 10th Avenue Tango you can hear on a record by Bruce Willis, the Bruce Willis, produced by Robben Ford, and this is the basic motive of the song. You can also play the lick here. Lick number 4. Albert King. I really love Albert King, and this is a typical Albert King idea. You bend with 3 fingers, the index finger, the middle finger and the ring finger on the high E string, and the index finger is on the 8th fret, the ring finger is on the 10th fret, like this. And you bend one whole tone from the D to the E, and then you lift off your ring finger, and what you get is a melody something like this. So the first note should be an E, and the second note is an E flat, which is the blue note in this case. This is a release bend, so I land on my index finger and play with my index finger on the 8th fret, the ring finger, B string on the 10th fret. Stevie Vaughan does this a lot, and you can hear it on Let's Dance by David Bowie. You can also use double stop, so make sure you bend 2 strings, the E string and the B string, at the same time. You can start with the E string, and then add the B string. This is it. Lick number 5. Lick number 5 is a typical lick by B.B. King. B.B. King loved to play in one particular position, and you can find this on the fretboard when you play with your index finger on the B string on the 10th fret. This is the B.B. King A major position. He starts with a bend with his ring finger on the 12th fret, and a bend and a release bend. He continues with the index finger and the middle finger. This is typical for B.B. King. It sounds different to the minor pentatonic on the 5th fret we used to play, because the notes are different. Then I continue with my ring finger on the 13th fret, and I bend it. Then I continue with my middle finger on the 12th fret, also bend it, and go back to my index finger on the 10th fret. This is a little variation. Sounds a little bit like Robben Ford. This is typical for B.B. King. B.B. King inspired hundreds, thousands, millions of players like Robben Ford, Larry Carlton, Eric Clapton, and it's very good to have this in the toolbox. That was fun. I really enjoyed every moment of making this video because I felt as close to the roots as I could be. I hope you liked it as much as I did. If so, don't forget to like, subscribe or leave a comment. I really would like to hear which lick was your favorite. Stay tuned. See you next time.